What an honor it is to be here amongst greatness. I'm talking about the Wanga woman, Caroline Wanga, the CEO of Essence Magazine. Thank you so much for being here.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, and we are here to talk everything Essence Fest.
Yes, that thing that happens.
Because it's right around the corner. But, Caroline, I cannot start without going through your journey because you are such an important figure in our community and just in corporate in general, right? I'm a big fan. And you took it from entry level to becoming one of the most powerful women in corporate and as a representation of us, okay? So that's a huge deal. So may I ask, before we get into it all, what was your first entry-level position?
The truth of the matter is there were several.
Right.
Probably is the truth, right? So so it's important for me to say I became a mom before I became a legal adult.
Really?
So my professional career technically started at 17 because that's the point at which I made decisions on how to take care of my daughter.
Right.
Right? So my first 7 years, I worked in nonprofit. And the reason I ended up there is because I used to coach a summer camp when I was in high school. And when I found out I was pregnant my first semester of college, I went back to them like, y'all got any jobs for the rest of the year? Because I got a kid coming and I need to be able to pay for them.
Yeah.
And so I ended up working at a nonprofit making youth development programs.
Okay.
And then ended up doing that at different organizations for 7 years. So my actual first career was 7 years in nonprofit doing grant writing and youth development programming.
Yeah.
And then I had a second first job after I went to school because I was tired of people telling me that I couldn't get promoted unless I went to school. I was like, I ain't gonna be no smarter.
Right.
But whatever. Right. So I went to school angry.
Okay.
So I did school way too fast because of that. Don't ever do that. So after I finished my business degree at HBCU in Texas, I started as an intern in the Target small company up north called the Target Corporation. It's going to be huge. Small startup. No, it's the Target Corporation. I started as an intern in their supply chain business in one of their distribution centers. And literally that was the beginning of a 15-year career that took me from intern to chief culture and diversity officer at the company. And then I got a call from this man named Rich Lou Dennis to come over here and do some stuff with Essence. And it was an honor to be able to come over and be a part of the next season of this brand. So I would say that I've had a couple of different entry-level positions.
Yeah.
But that's the story.
Now,
that's it.
At what point within that time did you realize that you wanted more? Because I think that's such a pivotal moment for a lot of people. And you either get it or you don't.
Yeah. What
and
do
it's
you
okay
mean
if
by
you don't.
wanted more? What's your definition of that?
Wanted more, like you had a bigger scope where you're like, I know that there's more reach and I know that, I don't just want to sit here doing this. I know that I want to reach more people and my people at that,
So my answer might surprise you. It was only 6 years ago.
Really?
And here's why. When I had my daughter, as you can imagine, it's not like few people celebrate getting pregnant at 17, right? Like, we don't want to be mean, but you also get concerned, and those that love you get concerned. Yeah. So what started to happen is people started to renegotiate my potential without my permission. They started to tell me what alternative paths I'll have to take to be successful, right? They started like, well, maybe you should think about, and it was all out of love. Like, it wasn't mean, but like, they started to rearrange my life, and I was like, I didn't say I'm a fail. Like, what are you doing, right?
And based off of their life and what they seen.
And what they had as dreams for me based on what they wanted.
Right.
Right? I'm an immigrant, right? And so if you're not a lawyer, doctor, or engineer, you don't count.
You have failed, actually.
In fact.
Yes.
Right? And any other, like, I think my parents thought I was a cashier for the 15 years I worked at Target, right? And they're professors in universities.
Yeah.
But the reason I start there is because what ended up happening was I spent my time, my daughter's name is Cadence, I spent from the moment that I had my daughter and went back to work up until about 6 years ago, I lived for Cadence.
Wow.
I was Cadence's mom. And so even when I went into corporate America, I was like, I'm going to sell out and be a corporate drone so that I could send this child to college, right? Like, I wasn't following a path that was what I wanted.
Yeah.
I was following a path that I felt I had to. And I loved working at Target, and I loved the nonprofit work. So it wasn't like I was miserable, but I wasn't focused on me.
Yeah.
I was like, this little girl, I got to make up for everything that the world thinks this little girl isn't going to have.
Right.
Right? And so that directed my path. So then I went to corporate America, did a bunch of jobs, and I came from the nonprofit roots, which is really what I think my mission is.
Yeah.
And through a lot of different conversations where I was passing judgment and somebody challenged me on it, I found out about the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And I don't know what it was. Nobody says that stuff at the dinner table. I'm like, what is diversity and inclusion, and who named it?
We don't even know that it really exists in these corporations.
I mean, and
I feel like it's just like a thing that we heard about.
Those are the people over there that have like 3 brown people and right? Like, like nobody knows what that is if you're not in corporate America. But I got exposed to it, and I literally said, if I'm gonna serve my time in corporate, right? Because I still had a little girl to raise, I'm gonna go ahead and do it here because it was the closest I found to a soul in corporate America back to my nonprofit roots.
Yeah.
And so when I went into the diversity and inclusion role, I actually had what I would call a personal dissonance moment, like a conflict moment, where I realized that my job was now to do the work to help people show up as themselves at Target, and I had a whole bunch of stuff I was hiding. Because I had spent so much time trying to make sure I didn't not be successful for this little girl. So whether it was about my hair, whether it was about my clothes, I tell people the story of burning my cardigans because I hate cardigans and I had entirely too many of them.
Yeah.
Right? But I had taken on all of these behaviors and approaches to make sure that I could still provide for my daughter. And so when I ended up in the D&I role, I was like, you a damn hypocrite, Wanga. Like, you are literally a hypocrite. Yeah. You're here supposed to be authentic. You don't want to change your hair. Your whole half of the closet you like. You never get to wear. You're worried about what everybody's going to think about you, but you also know you're super smart and you can deliver. And so you can't be out here talking about bring your authentic self to Target, right? And you aren't being it. So I remember the first decision I made was to cut my locks.
Oh.
And it wasn't, I didn't have locks. I actually had micro braids.
Okay.
And I went to and I had them cut it at the knot. And I was scared out of my mind.
At the knot?
At the knot. And it was freshly done. Like 3 Nollywood movies worth of freshly done micro braids. Not an ounce of new growth. In fact, my edges still hurt. I had the little bumps and stuff. But anyway, so I literally went to the shop deathly afraid and said, please cut it. If you don't cut it today, I'm not coming back. And I started my locks. And I remember I went to work the next day and I was afraid I was going to be fired. They don't care what I did last night. I scanned my badge like I was done. And then after a week, I was like, these jokers really don't care. Yeah. I was like, bam, next week, blue lipstick. Bam, next week, clothing. Now, that sounds like vanity because it's those things. But what I was releasing was all the things that were true about me that I thought were a threat to my career. And when my job became making people who think that their existence is a threat, I had to make sure I was representing it, even if it meant I'd get fired. Right. And so I would say that D&I job, and when authenticity became my job, and I had to reconcile my own, is actually, this is why I say it was only 6 years ago, that's when I started to understand my personal purpose. Wow. And I started to understand that my personal purpose, when I let go of everything I'm worried about because of other people, is to help people understand how their authenticity can exist. In fact, my tagline is to help democratize authenticity, whether that's in how I live, how I work, what I do. And so really, it's only been a 6 or 7 year journey of me understanding my purpose. And what that has delivered to your question about wanting more or doing more, it has never ever been about more. It's been about, I need to exhaust every ounce of what I'm supposed to contribute in my time here, because if I don't, somebody goes without. And I don't want anybody to spend as many years as I did refusing to be who they are because somebody else is watching and needs it. Yeah. And that's what I had to learn. I don't need to do nothing but be me. People are watching and that's what'll happen. And that's actually how I ended up getting, in essence, is Rich Lou Dennis was watching me. I didn't know he was watching me. Like, I thought I was over here doing Target partnerships and stuff. And then he was like, so I want you to come run this. I'm like, you called the wrong Caroline. What about doing media? Right. And what his story was to me was, but you represent what I want Essence to have as leadership. And I had never prepared to be a leader here. But when I chose to anchor to my purpose and started living it agnostic of what other people felt about it, the universe affirms that which is right. And so the right eyes came, and the right opportunities that are aligned to me being able to do more with my purpose revealed themselves. Yeah. And so it's a new journey for me. But damn it, it's fun. And I would tell anybody out there, it's the only way to live. It gets better, and the liberation and the confidence and the purpose that comes with it is something that I desire for every person to get. Anybody who doesn't get to that place makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because everybody's born with a purpose, and those that don't pursue it, the world goes without because it's not shareable.
Right.
You have yours, I have mine. We both need to get to it for the world. Anybody who doesn't, the world loses.
Yeah. Oh, you are preaching right now. You spitting. That's what I say.
Because I
you
lived
spitting.
it. I didn't read a book and nothing. Like I lived it.
Yeah.
I lived the transformation. So I know what it feels like
Yeah.
to commit to what you're supposed to do and be afraid of it at the same time. I tell people all the time, I have a reverent fear of my purpose, not an afraid fear, a respectful fear.
Ooh.
And I live with that respectful fear. And it's the thing that makes me do it even when I don't want to, even when I'm scared, even when I don't think I can be the CEO of one of the largest black media brands in the country. And I'm like, you called a little Kenyan girl used to live in Minnesota, right? And people are like, where does she come from? She ain't from here. That reverent fear is what says go anyway, because it's never done me wrong.
Right. Oh, that is amazing. Yeah. Now, what would you say to young black girls who don't see this kind of energy and success within their circumference? Because that too makes it so hard to dream when you don't see it. You don't see it in your immediate family or in your area of living, whatever it is. I know that that's a tough space to be in. So what advice would you give to, us?
So there's a couple of things I would say. The first of those is just because you're by yourself, it doesn't mean you're alone. Mm-hmm. Just because you're by yourself, it doesn't mean you're alone.
Right.
And what I mean by that is often we look at only the circumference of who's surrounding us, and that's what we use as the basis for whether or not we have role models.
Yeah.
What I would offer to them is the first person who can tell you exactly what you can do is you. And I would spend a lot of time asking yourself the question of why am I here?
Right.
And I promise you, just by stating that question out loud, things will start to be revealed to you that put things in a strategic yes and a thoughtful no bucket to help you understand whether to go left or right.
Right.
That could be as simple as an article of clothing. That can be as simple as a job. That could be a greeting. That could be somebody. So that's the first thing I would say is don't doubt that some of that's already in you and make a commitment to go on discovery for that. The second thing that I would say is don't let what somebody looks like be the reason why you don't get inspired by them. Some of my greatest supporters, some of the toughest love and most important love, some of the most safe love I got came from people that nobody would think we belong in the same room.
Wow.
When I had a mental health breakdown at Target as an executive, I was sitting in the CEO's office, Brian Cornell. He's a white man from Queens.
Okay.
You wouldn't think we would even cross the same street.
Right.
And he's the one that told me to go home for another 30 days and get better.
30? He gave you 30 days?
30 days. And I had just been out for 30 days.
Wow.
And I was sitting with him. Now, he knew about mental health issues because he has them in his family. I didn't even know why I was going crazy, to be honest. I wasn't fully clear on what was happening with me, but I was worried about coming back to work.
Yeah.
So I came back to work, and I wasn't ready. And I literally remember sitting in his office. He's like, go take some more time. I got you.
Wow.
And that's all he needed to say. And I have had several beautiful black women be important in my life. He's not any less important because he wasn't a black woman. And so the second piece of advice I would give is don't let the filter of who somebody is prevent you from what the moment may be for you in the moment. Ooh. And also don't give anybody permission just because they look like you. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Right?
Hold on
and
now.
So if we're going to be critical about who doesn't look like us that can mentor us, then we need to be just as critical as the ones that look like us that are not right for us. Ooh. Because we often spend a lot of time giving grace to those that look like us, and they may not be the right person for us, but we stay with it a little bit longer because we know that we should.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what that creates is just a deeper hole to dig out of. And so break the mental model that says the people who inspire you, help you get to places, help you discover your purpose, look like you and exist like you.
Right.
Look for the ones who connect to your spirit and your purpose. Look for the ones that when you're done engaging with them, your shoulders sit higher. You feel like the stuff after you talk to them. You be like, yeah, let's go. Right? Those are the people you need in your life.
Yeah.
Because between going into seeking who you are and just putting yourself in seeking mode, pursuing people who will protect that as it grows in you, because that's what I've had the benefit of. The people that just were like, this child is about to hurt herself, but please just let's just put like a surrounding around her, like a baby who's trying to learn how to walk so she don't hit her head. They're like, she doesn't know it yet, but we do. So we're just going to protect her from herself. until she sees it. Those people may not look like you and be like you, and sometimes they will.
Yeah.
Do not reject where the support will come from. It might be a teacher. It could be the grocery store manager. It could be the mailman. It could be anybody. Understand that purpose doesn't have a color.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a DNA connection. It has a reverent connection, and let it happen where it happens. And the people who show that to you are the people to keep close to you. And eventually, you'll meet yourself, and you'll know when you're ready to be that for somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because those important people that we meet, they mirror what's inside of us.
That's exactly. And you know in your intuition, you get goosebumps, your heart, right? You walk out of there like, I might be as good as they said I am. Like, the people who make you feel like that when you talk to them, stay with them.
Yeah.
Stay with them.
I feel it now, girl.
Right?
I got
Stay
the
with them.
goosebumps.
See?
I'm staying
I
with
had
you.
like 7 on the front of my hand, and I knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm staying with you.
Let's stay together.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do. Because for me, it's about as many people as possible understanding they get through the imperfect journey perfectly.
Absolutely. Now, Essence Fest.
I mean, this little thing that we do down in New Orleans. Yes, ma'am.
This big thing.
Humongous.
I know. June 30th to July 3rd, right?
That's right.
It's been what,
For
2
those
years?
that choose to come for the weekend, some of these jokers be down there for 30 days. I ain't gonna bust them out.
Look.
But they just be there real early and stay real late and tell their job they had to go.
It's an experience.
It is an
that
experience.
I have not got to do in person.
Oh, that's gonna change.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen. I love
you
New
and
Orleans
Nola.
so much.
Done.
Yeah.
Deal. Got it.
It's happening?
You'll be there.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
We went through a pandemic that we're still going through, and an uprising that, we were fighting as Black people.
Yes.
And now the energy is shifting. We're moving in a different direction. Still a lot going on. But, we're resilient.
We are.
What is the energy behind the festival?
Listen, so first of all, this thing has been around for over 25 years,
Yes,
right?
big
so
deal.
20 is a big. So anything that has lasted that long has its own strength.
Right.
It isn't based on people and things like that. And for all of that time, it's been affiliated with New Orleans, which New Orleans is key to the DNA of festival. There's only 3 years where it hasn't been in New Orleans.
Okay.
Houston during Katrina, and then the 2 virtual years we just did.
Right.
So there's no festival outside of New Orleans. And anybody that's spreading a rumor saying that we're leaving is lying. Hear me saying we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
NOLA's home.
Okay.
Right? This festival doesn't exist without NOLA. So the beauty of the festival first is that it has been what we call the Super Bowl of culture for 27 years. Find another thing that has stayed a mainstay. Largest festival by per day attendance in the nation.
Yeah.
Find another one.
I can't because it doesn't
Coachella?
exist. I can't.
Right?
Because it doesn't exist.
What did you say? Right? Find one. I dare you, right? So the cool thing is it has tradition and history that almost is like you ain't lived if you ain't been.
Right.
Right? But the beautiful thing about it is even as we bring it back after 2 years of virtual, by the way, those 2 years of virtual were not unsuccessful. 45 million views of our 2020 festival.
Talk about it.
65 million views of our 2021 festival.
Yep.
So when all y'all come down there with your 3 years worth of outfits that you haven't been able to wear with the tags on them where you lost the receipt, when you show up in NOLA with over 500,000 of your favorite cousins, right? We will welcome you back. We will be there doing, and I say this all the time because I mean it with my whole heart. One of the things that the Black community has been forced to do is to celebrate while accommodating the majority population.
Ooh, we don't talk about it.
So we gonna have a party, but you know Jim Bob's coming, so let's make sure we ain't too Black. We don't accommodate at Essence Festival.
Oh, man.
Everybody's invited, but you're going to do it our way.
Yeah.
We are here to celebrate who we are culturally, and we are going to uphold that with 4 days, actually, because we now have added Thursday night where Kevin Hart is doing his show, right, down in New Orleans. And then we've got 3 nights of the Superdome and a ton of new experiences and great experiences during the day because we are the Essence Festival of culture, not of music.
Yes.
Of culture.
Yep.
And Black culture is culture.
Yeah.
And the Black woman is the conductor of culture, home, and community. Not Black culture, home, and community. Culture, home, and community. And so when we talk about the 27th year of the festival, what we're saying is, over 500,000 people are going to be there live with all their outfits. And millions will also have a virtual experience.
Yeah.
Something that has never happened at this festival will happen this year. It'll be live and virtual.
Yeah.
Both. And so when we think about our diasporic mission to reconnect the disconnected diaspora, the idea that we will be able to gather together, not just locally in New Orleans, but across the world,
right,
with those that need to be in celebration with us, has never happened before. And that's what I'm most excited about,
Yeah.
right? And so that's the first thing people need to know. Now, if you don't have a plane or a bed to sleep in, that's not my damn fault.
Right. Because they're going to be blaming you.
Now, you can call, phone a friend, Airbnb, whatever you need to do. But right now, if you don't have a place to sleep and a way to get there, it's dwindling. I would suggest you go ahead and make some different decisions on that.
Yeah.
In addition to getting tickets to some of the events that you're really excited about. But we will never not have the Superdome.
Got it.
Right? So we've got Nicki Minaj and her Barbs coming down on Friday. But in there is Mickey Guyton.
Yeah.
Right? Who's a sister out here doing big things in country.
Yeah.
There's about 72 country songs that I like. I just don't know all the lyrics, so I can't just sing them on command, but I really do like them. Right? So we've got that night where you've got everybody from Nicki Minaj to Mickey Guyton there to Beanie Man, right? Like, because we're not a monolith. Black culture is not a monolith. And anything we touch becomes great if we can get to it.
Oh, yeah.
Country music, right? Second day.
Which was ours to begin with. Yeah.
We going to say it? We doing that today?
Yeah. Oh, we keeping it real. All the time.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Oh.
Now, I'm a Janet fan. I'm not quite as good at Rhythm Nation as she is, but I mean, just to have her with us. And we've been in relationship with Janet for decades, but to have her with us there at Essence Festival, just being who she is, I don't know that there's going to be another moment like that. I know that I've had several regrets where I didn't go see somebody I really liked because I thought I'd get to see him again, and then I didn't.
An icon at that, yeah.
An icon, right? And I'm really looking forward to other things you'll see coming with her very shortly.
Yeah.
Third night, right? New Edition. Now, again, similar to Rhythm Nation, there's a couple of choreography steps I know. I don't know them all.
This is easy, though. New Edition.
But I'll be tired by Sunday. Yeah. And possibly my equilibrium may be off. So if you find anything, just don't put the pictures on social. But those will be the concert nights, right? And then we've got an after dark experience each of those nights. And so even for the Zillennials, which is the word that I made up to cover all generations, right? We've got City Girls, right? We've got Summer Walker. We've got Lucky Day, right?
So excited.
So we are also not just about the aunties. We are multi-generational and agile operation. There will always be multiple generations, and no one is more important than the other. But everyone should feel like there's something there for them. And so from what we are doing musically, that generation is well represented in what will be offered, both during the main stage moments on the Superdome and in the After Darks. And then there's stuff that's never been at festival before. So for all of y'all people who have gone for 72 years, 27 is the opposite of 72 years, and think you've seen it all, you haven't. So, number one, we talk about Essence being about the Black woman, but it's because she's the conductor of home culture and community. We've included a men's experience.
Yes.
Now, we know the brothers be showing up at Essence Festival for multiple reasons, and this is not saying that they don't. I mean, we cute, but this is not saying, look, he's just like, wow. This is not saying that the brothers ain't there, but we're designing experiences just for him.
Yeah.
He's a part of the ecosystem. He's not an other. Yeah. And so we're excited that we've got a men's curated experience that we will stay committed to. We've always had Essence Eats, which we've now moved outside, but you also will see the first ever Essence Food and Wine Festival that will feature Black brands that sit in the food and wine space out here to sip and, whatever you want to do, right? And have that experience along with Essence Eats. We do a ton of other programming like the Global Black Economic Forum. We are not just about having fun. We are about culture, equity, and celebration.
Right.
And so when we talk about the areas of equity, we believe that economic inclusion is a human right.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we host an event called the Global Black Economic Forum. It's the Black version of Davos, the World Economic Forum. I call it Blavos, because why not? And so that is a place where we will talk about what does it look like for us to continue to make sure that the revolution brings about Black generational wealth.
We need
and
that.
What are the things we need partners to do that, right? We will still have the conversations we need to have in e-suites and make sure that people are getting the advice to continue to advance their careers, whether they be entrepreneurs or other things. And so it is not just about what happens with the music. It's not just about getting to New Orleans. It is about the global impact and ecosystem that will return Blackness to greatness. Yeah. And what we want you to do is come down and get a little bit of all of it. It's not a go to the concert, don't come to the day activities. Because you want to continue to make money to come to that concert. I want you to be as rich as the people on the stage. And the way that you're going to do that is some of the other places where we're talking to you about how to drive your economics, how to be an entrepreneur. So that you can be as rich out here as everybody else. We've got the technology hub where we're driving some things forward. We got Wellness House where, trap yoga was last time. There's other great experiences that are there. And so we want to experience the whole us. Yeah. The melanated us. And again, those that are not are welcome. but you are coming to our celebration and our cultural traditions, and we welcome you, but we will not accommodate you to make it comfortable for you. Because this is the place where we get to be blackity, blackity, black, black. And if you're comfortable with that, chime out.
Absolutely. Oof. This is an entire experience that I just want every Black person in the world to, see and be a part of. And I know that you guys have leading events coming to.
Yes.
Before Essence Fest, of course, we got LA.
Yes.
We have DC.
Yes.
And we have Chicago.
I mean, we on our way. And so we're stopping to pick up a couple of our cousins in different places. So on June 4th, this is the Road to Festival, right? Yeah. So the month of June, we will be showing up in different cities to help people have that experience and invite them to join us. So on June 4th, we will be in LA doing the Essence Festival of Culture there. Any information you hear me say, please go to essence.com and you'll get all the additional details that you need, right? So we've got we've got LA happening on June 4th. On June 11th, which is also my daughter's birthday, but on June 11th, Kaden, she's gonna kill me. She's 25, but I still call her my baby, right? But we will be, I know, that's my baby, right? Let me have it. June 11th, we will be in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Right? Celebrating with our family there and inviting them to join us down there at Festival. And then we will be in the Chi to the Midwest in Chicago on June 18th to engage with our family, invite you there. And then after June 18th, the next most important day is that first day of Festival, which, if you count the Kevin Hart concert, is actually the 30th of June. And then we have our celebration together. We close it on that Monday with the all-out barbecue on the only way we know how, since it's the 4th of somebody's July, right? And then we all get to be in relationship with each other separately from where we're from, because the other thing that will become true about this is this will be the family reunion for how we engage with you year-round.
Right.
So we don't ever say goodbye.
Right.
We say see you later.
Ooh, I love that. And that's actually something that I use at home. My sister's always telling me, don't say bye, it's see you later. And with this, that's exactly what we're going to do, because it's an ongoing movement.
It is.
Now, when it comes to music, because it is Black Music Month, you guys have the range. We talked about the range.
You talked about the range.
And the performances always get better. It's like the hottest artist to the iconic, legendary artist, all in one space.
Yes.
Now, who are you most excited to see? I think I know, but I'm going to...
it'll be interesting to see what your guess is.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you my guess first?
No, I want to tell you first, and then I want you to tell me, and we'll see if we're on the same page. Because the honest answer is everybody.
Okay.
In my language, everybody. But, and I think you'll get this, I am really excited about all of the artists, but I've never seen Janet Jackson live. Right? And there are so many people who I never got to see live that I regret. I never saw Michael Jackson live. Like there's these artists who, after a lot of them pass, I'm like, I got to get to whatever moment I can.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she's so iconic, and I feel like my black card has a little dent in it if I haven't seen her live, that I need to resolve that.
Right.
And so I'm not going to lie to you that I will be lurking, right, when our sister Janet is up there. But I actually am excited about Mickey Guyton.
Okay.
Because I want us to understand what happens when we tap into every part of who we are. We are the best at whatever we choose to do. Yeah. And I'm so proud of that sister and what she's doing. But I'm just as proud of the sisters that are proud of themselves, like City Girls, right? We've got Nicki Minaj, right? We've got these women that are owning their womanhood their way.
Yep.
And showing up as themselves, unapologetically, generationally relevant, with a purpose in mind. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for the sisters that are showing up in the way that they want to. So what's happening with people like City Girls and Summer Walker, I admire those sisters because they're doing what I live for, which is earlier in life.
Yeah.
They're aligning to how they want to exist in the world unapologetically, and the world will be better for it. And so I love them because I want to stand in support of what they represent for all of us as Black women.
I know that's right.
So basically, I want to see everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. And I knew you were going to say Janet because Icon, big deal, Essence Fest.
I know. And I can't boost my Black card by never having seen Janet.
Yeah, you got to get that done and checked off.
It
all
needs
of us
to be resolved immediately.
And then for me, it's Thames. And I just thought, because I love Thames so much, I was like, yeah, she going to say the same thing because, but Thames, I'm so excited for her and the way her career is growing. And I think the way that, she's just bringing everyone together with her unique sound, the only one who sounds like that, and coming out of West Africa, is just beautiful. And
so one of our After Darks is all Afrobeat.
Really?
And so I'm from Kenya originally. And so for me, I love the Afrobeats movement because I'm like, it's about time y'all saw where all this music y'all have generated from.
Yeah.
And so for me, Afrobeats is just my life.
Yeah.
Right? And so Thames is there, as are several others, WizKid and others who are going to be there with us. But we, like the Afrobeats movement is something that I am particularly excited about. So I'm excited about Thames, but there will be an After Dark that is an Afrobeats focus. The Afrobeats movement is showing the world the music of the continent that actually is the foundation of where music started. Right? And I am just so excited that we continue to be able to connect the diaspora that way. And we'll make sure you are able to see Thames in the way that you want.
Yes,
She's a dope sister.
She's excited.
Super dope. She's super dope.
I'm excited. Now, before we get up out of here, you have this mantra that you live by, right? And I think it's so important. And I've now adapted that into, my lifestyle after reading this. And help me if I'm saying it wrong, but who you are is who you are. Yes. If you can't be who you are, where you are, change where you are to be who you are. Now, how does that coincide with everything that's going to be happening at Essence Fest? And why is that something that, you truly believe is something that we must incorporate in our being in order to succeed?
First of all, that quote is a testimony of my experience, as I talked to you about earlier. Yeah. That is the short version of the report card of the transition I've gone through over the last 7 years. Mm-hmm. The amount of joy that comes with the fact that I've fallen back in love with myself. Oh. And I understand who I am. Mm-hmm. And my cup is full, agnostic of what I get back from the world, is literally the thing I want for every single person out there, because it is such a joyful way to live life. Yeah. And it's such a fulfilling way to live life. But the where is not just physically. Mm-hmm. And so what I tell people is, the where can be your mind, the where can be your heart and your soul, the where can be your environment. The where is not just about a physical place. Yeah. But the point of the statement is, who is never negotiable. Where should be ever changing based on who you are and where your purpose takes you to do the things you need to do. Right. So when we think about Essence Festival, I am not naive when I say I want authenticity democratized. That is one of the scariest journeys anybody can go to, because you're at full vulnerability. People will reject you. New people will come about. You will fail. You will win. Yeah. You will be isolated. If you pursue your purpose, you will be by yourself most of the time. And it won't feel good, but it'll be right. But all of those things are scary because they're not necessarily something we see in people a lot. There's a lot of manufactured people around us. Mm-hmm. And so when you choose to be authentic to yourself, there is an isolation that comes with it that makes it scary. And then you think something's going to go bad and you want to revert back to what's comfortable. Because that journey is so scary, I'm going to tell you where's the safest place to start it. Where? In our community.
Come on.
As a Black community. So if you're looking for a place to start testing that, to continue growing that, to manifest that and how you want it to be there for other people, there's no safer place and safer ground than what the Essence Festival of Culture represents. Because every part of who we are is given room to both exist and teach and learn. And nobody takes care of us like us. And so people will see you. And if you need a hug, I bet you a sister will give it to you. Yep. If you need a handshake, they'll be there. You will get head nods from strangers. Mm-hmm. You will be told you're beautiful or you're handsome. You will be told that what you just said was fly. Yeah. You will be told that you've inspired people, and you will tell people you've inspired people. I don't care what other festival you go to. That doesn't happen. Every single other festival is a bunch of people stunting with outfits, trying to make sure they're seen. Mm-hmm. The Essence Festival of Culture is about making sure every single one of us sees ourselves the way we should be seen. And only we do that for each other. So on the journey to deciding and understanding who you are and what you're supposed to do in the world, if you don't have a where, the first where is in New Orleans, June 30th.
It's the Black Joy for me, baby.
You better shaman down there and get there, because it is about the Black Joy for us. Yeah. For us. We are going to return Blackness to greatness. Yeah. Full stop. And we're going to do it through the Black woman as the conductor of home culture and community. And everybody's invited, but we doing it our way. We blackity, black out here. And we're not apologizing for it anymore.
Come on with it, everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Caroline Wanga.
Yes, ma'am.
You did that, sis.
We here together.
I am locked in for life.
Come on.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. It's an honor. And thank you for what you're doing with your platform to make sure that the people that need to hear who they are get there. You're fulfilling your purpose with you and that mic.
Thank
and
you.
I honor you, sister, for that too.
Oh my gosh,
I honor you too. If we all do our part, we're indestructible.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, boo. And I'll see you in New